We start a wonderful new series today. The series is called God's Gifts, Using God's Gifts. And we're asking ourselves if God is getting a return on his investment. We have to understand one thing, that God is not just someone who, is all compassionate and all loving and lets anything go by. He's someone that does everything with a plan, with a purpose. He's like a businessman. He created this earth in order for it to multiply itself, to bear fruit, and that includes you and me. He created everything in such a way that it was self-sustaining in the physical. He created the earth, he created man in such a way that we were actually supposed to live for eternity in this very body, not to die the way we do nowadays. But then what happened? That sin entered the world. When sin entered the world, it says in Romans chapter 5 that through sin, death entered the world. Your physical death and my physical death. You see, science still cannot answer the question, why do we age? They can explain what happens, they can see it happens, which is what science does, but they have no answer to the question, why do we age? Because the way we have been made by God, we are a perfect machine that can regenerate its cells, which apparently it does every time we go to bed, or our cells are regenerated. Then why do we age so much? And why do we die? The answer to this is because we have corrupted God's business plan. We have destroyed his initial purpose for creating us by us rebelling. We are no longer a good return on his investment. God made us with a plan, with a purpose to multiply. He told even the creation to multiply. But then when we were corrupted, he could not allow us to live anymore eternally, because corruption only brings fruit to corruption. Corruption only brings fruit to corruption. By denying God and not doing what he's asking us to do, we end up working for Satan. Even if you are a believer, if you're not working and doing the things that God is asking you to do, you are being used by Satan to waste your life, waste your talents, and waste the gifts that God has given you. So with this, I want to encourage you today that you sit with God and say, Lord, where have I failed? What am I supposed to do and how am I supposed to do it? And he will show you. He will show you. And if you don't know Christ, then you have no hope whatsoever, because it is Christ who will give you that divine purpose. It is Christ who will show you what you're supposed to do. You have been created for much more than simply making money and living day by day. God has given you supernatural gifts for his glory. He has given you abilities and talents for you to use for him. You need to multiply yourself using God's gifts and God's word into the lives of others. This is our purpose. If you're not doing this, then you are definitely doing it for Satan, because that seed that you have been created with is for multiplication. And you will either multiply God into people's lives, you will either multiply Christ and his power into people's lives, or you will multiply Satan and his plan into people's lives. It's entirely up to you. But ask yourself, is God getting a return on his investment in you? By keeping you alive one more day, is he benefiting from your existence? Ask yourself this question, even if you are a believer in Jesus Christ, because it's a very important question, and everything that you decide now will affect eternity for you. God bless.